Train to Busan. Flaws and Awes. I can't read this. Just kidding. We're not CinemaSins. Not all zombie movies need to go into the details of the virus's origins. The how, the where. Here we don't get a detailed explanation, but an ambiguous tease to have some idea. One traffic controller mannequin, farmer mentioning his hairy ass, and zombie deer later, we find out there was a leak at a biotech lab. This simplicity works for the story they're telling. Might not be perfect CGI, and Lord knows us zombie fans have seen worse. For what it is, it looks pretty damn good. And it's a frickin' zombie deer. Product placement doesn't automatically make it bad. How it's done matters. Here, the lead character is snacking on some Burger King. It's something that fits in this world, and it shows he doesn't break much. Likely having his assistant bring him food, and he eats it while he's working. Quickly we learn Sikwoo. Listen, I'm not gonna butcher these names, so everyone gets a nickname. Dad, the Dick, is cold, focused on his work, his success, recently divorced, he looks down on others, and he puts little effort picking out a gift for his daughter's birthday. All character details smoothly done within a few minutes. Aw, this introduction of Sue-Ann is perfect. Telling her mother on the phone under the covers with the lights out that she can ride the train by herself. I love when the father knocks. They hold a beat with the edit and she whispers, "Mommy, I'm hanging up." It's friggin' adorable. Now his bond with his daughter is the problem, and the next product placement works wonderfully exposing that problem. He gets her the same damn gift she already got on Children's Day that same year. This failed present is important. It pushes the story forward, and although the dad's busy, he decides to take Sue-Ann to her mom, taking the train to Busan. This is after the heartbreaking response from Sue-Ann. "I won't waste your time. I can go by myself." Ouch. Then, the dad's own mother throws his own words back at him. And in a blink and you miss it moment, he can either check on his work stuff on the laptop in front of him or watch his daughter's recital. The recital he missed for work, but now he skips his work to check out the recital. Little too late perhaps, but we see his daughter singing and she seemingly forgets the words. Now this quick and relevant setup will come back to tear our guts out twice. The car ride to the train station is packed, all relevant to the story. The mentioning of the recital, the dad reassuring his daughter, "I'm always watching over you even though you don't see me," and a bit of fatherly advice, whatever you do, finish what you start. It's worse than not doing anything at all. Interrupted by the emergency vehicles, we get the first hint that something isn't right. Sue-Ann seeing ash fallen in a wonderful shot. Followed by a neat reveal, the camera panning out of the car, holding on the two while the skyscraper is on fire in the reflection of the car's window. Now we meet our outbreak group on the train. First up, we got a bunch of baseball players. Must not have locker rooms where they're going though, because they conveniently have their uniforms on. And it might be a cultural thing, but just one cheerleader? Aren't cheerleaders supposed to be, well, you know, let's just say the casting's a bit off. Listen, I love this movie, and it actually pains me to point out flaws, but he would have heard the wounded girl getting on the train. Now, if the sound guy, editor, whatever, mixed it a little differently so it wasn't as loud, that would have removed this flaw. Oh, and she's moaning just inside the door. Sorry, I can't let this slide. He would have heard it. I'm gonna try not to go into crazy detail for everything, but just for one example that might apply to other flaws, showing you why this is counted as a flaw, it's because it breaks the immersion. See, once you're sucked into a good movie and something happens, your brain instantly picks up on it and it goes, "Oh wait, didn't he hear that? Oh wait, can't he hear her moaning?" While your brain snaps out of the immersion to have these thought reactions, you then need more time to get re-immersed back into the story. Back to something I love, the downfall buildup. With a train worker noticing some type of incident, people are filming, it looks like a fight, I like it. Then the train starts to move, and we see Sue-Ann, who's just looking out the window. She's chilling, and a train worker is suddenly tackled. And I want to point out, the girl with a leg bite tightens a tourniquet, and it appears to show the infection traveling up her leg. It's a visual way to show something that is otherwise impossible to reveal without clunky and forced exposition. She then, however, stumbles, clearly a shocking sight that would get attention, but no one notices, even after she falls down. Sue-Ann's now looking for an open bathroom, and this actually helps to introduce the homeless man who's rambling about them being all dead, a businessman that's a real scumbag, and then a couple that'll surely grow on most of us as characters as we root for them because they are cool as hell. This is all an important moment for the pacing, because as soon as the injured woman is discovered, things coolly ramp up. A vibrating call wakes the dad, and he notices his daughter is missing. He spots a news report of chaos and riots. This gets him up and out of his seat, in position to be an active part in the story. The walkie-talkie not working conveniently for the plot is weak as hell. But at least it immediately redeemed itself with our first zombie reveal, and she's pretty damn sexy. I just want to take a little moment and appreciate these two friends tickling each other. Well, with their bats and balls all packed away, I guess a little tickle fight is the next best thing. Interrupting the tickle torture with some girl-on-girl action, our cabin attendant stumbles up the aisle with the bite victim paying it forward in a cool-ass style, and it gets the pacing ready to explode. The leading with the teeth is great. Shit, that would have snapped my spine. Great job positioning these characters for certain shots, like the guy cabin attendant getting knocked down, whacking his head, and then the woman cabin attendant ends up right in front of him eating some Korean takeout, and he sees all this madness erupting in the car in front of him. The dad checks for his daughter and then gets distracted by some type of altercation. Having him walk past the restroom his daughter is using shifts these characters in a clever ass way to set up what's next. Cool looking zombie, but is there an explanation to how his eye got so swollen? It could be the seat's armchair, but that's a stretch. This chase is cool, especially this part. The World War Z pileup still isn't working. A train's shape for a movie is very restrictive, but by having Sue-Ann go looking for an open restroom, they set up characters and areas we are now revisiting as the zombie mob races down one cabin at a time. They pull back again with the score, and we return to a calm, normal environment. We introduce the pregnant woman, and then they build up the tension again. This is the start of one of my favorite movie couples. It's here the story takes an interesting twist. Now, the scumbag is a representation of who the dad could be like when he gets older, but this is the scumbag's first negative influence, yelling for them to shut the door on a pregnant couple. And he f***ing does. What a dick. That's why I called him Dad the Dick. But this adds to a great dynamic between them. Quick thinking helps us to start liking a character that was introduced last. The train slows down, letting the passengers get a look at the chaos erupting not only on the train, but off it as well. However, why would anyone beat on the side of a train and then get eaten up, or wait to get eaten up? They can't get in through the windows, so what was their plan? The story breaks for a moment to show it's a big outbreak. However, there's rough CGI, especially that fucking teddy bear. Zombies must have attacked a helicopter that recently took off, and a few zombies fell, which is a pretty cool scene, and the CGI holds up. However, no broken bones, and they all get up. One of them didn't shatter a leg or something. They all just get up fine. And if the cameraman was attacked, who uploaded this? As sad as it sounds, we rarely see Sue-Ann with a smile in this entire movie, and one of the only times that she does is when she offers up her seat to an older woman. Her smile is huge, a moment that is so easy to miss, but it screams volumes about this sweet little girl. It makes her happy to be nice to people. When her father tells her only to look out for herself in times like these, she's sad, only saying that Granny's knees always hurt, which is the reason she gave up her seat. This is where we take a moment to get to know my future wifey, nicknamed Wifey, and Clubber. He kicks ass. Anyhow, these two are fantastic. The casting is perfect. I don't even speak the language, and their charisma shines off of the screen.
이름은 아빠가 게을러 터져서 아직 지어주지 않았어.
Wifey and Clubber get Sue-Ann to smile for the second and possibly the last time, and they are too cute. You can't help to smile along with them. Something about this shot and how it was used in the promos reminds me of The Walking Dead. I mean that in a good way. The next event is exiting the train to get help. The dad breaks off from the group to get help from a friend in the military, and others go to the main square. Now they both run into zombies conveniently at the same time without spotting any random zombie out a window or something, but it's a scene that wouldn't benefit from a stricter realistic polish, so as it is, it works well for the pacing. The passengers go down an escalator, headed right into the now infected military. Bad news for the living, but it's a fucking Uber Eats delivery for the zombies. Great for the pacing, and it gives the characters and character development a chance to breathe. And then back to madness. Seeing how this soldier is wounded but not turning, he's likely not bitten, but speeding up the zombie footage just looks cheap. But everything about the next scene is bomb as fuck. The score to the slow-mo, the distance between them, symbolically and in real life, and the couple he almost let die is the couple that saves his kid. Oh yeah, picture perfect for a promo. The homeless guy helps out the dad with a little bit of foreshadowing. I know there's stupid people in real life that do stupid shit in a panic, but really? It's back on the train, but the CGI here is a bit blurry. But hell yes, this is cool, setting up a good sequence. Splitting up the sisters is not just to do it, it actually influences the story later on. I love how everyone reacts, even when they're safe behind a door or a window, just cause of how unsettling it really would be. Damn, they do a good job making you hate this scumbag. Now, between the doors holding up for all this and the bad CGI, I think one flaw is fair. At least they used practical effects immediately after the glass broke. Now, with tension at the max, the one guy you don't want to die is the last guy that might not make it on, and there's a change happening within the dad. What a rush of a scene. Okay, no, fuck off. This movie is too good for this shit. They would have heard them, especially with the guy screaming into the door. We are around the halfway point in the movie, and with a difficult environment to work with, like a train, they have introduced us to these characters. We've had great tension, pacing, they got off the train, and now they reboarded, but now our characters are all split up, and as the train moves to Busan, the story is about our characters trying to reunite. Forearm guards? Yes! The most obvious thing is so rarely used in zombie movies. Oh, let's get it! One car down and it's brutal, not easily killing them, but just beating them and not getting bitten. The next cabin has the baseball boyfriends. They build the scene like we're waiting for the baseball boy to snap out of it and help his new team, and then just when he's about to, hint hint if you need a lesson in subverting expectations the good way, darkness from the tunnel blinds the zombies. For some reason, the blood job on the dad's shirt is terrible, especially for a movie of this caliber. I don't know if they meant it to look like it got wet with sweat or something, but that's not even how blood looks when it's wet. This whole pink and light look to the blood is terrible and distracting for certain shots. Instead of just fighting zombies again, we get a clever phone noise trick and crawling on top of the luggage rack. Just hearing the other passengers are coming to the scumbag's cabin. The big scumbag, consumed by fear and selfishness, infects everyone with his negativity as quick as a zombie infects with a bite. The dad stops his daughter from helping the homeless man, choosing instead to help him himself. Growth. There's nowhere to hide as we rush into a huge, heartbreaking moment. The shitty scumbag passengers have blocked the path, and Clubber, I can't even speak the words. Just watch. Literally fighting for their lives. The separated sisters story comes into play, the cheerleader breaks free, and we get a beautiful yet disgusting tug of war, so often found even in real life, fighting against fears, the unknown, prejudices, selfishness. Between the actor's charisma and the character's charm, Clubber quickly wins you over. It's heartbreaking to watch him tell his wifey to stay back, tell his new allies to keep her safe. Please go, I'm getting tired. Oh my god, dude, stop. And finally, before he is gonna die, he shouts out, "Yusa! The glass shatters, along with our hearts. But he hodors the fuck out of this moment. Damn, feeling terrible also feels so fucking good. And I love how the dad, furious, now helping to pull the door open, just grills the scumbag. I understand what they were going for here, having the one sister just barely not make it in, but how it plays out, it feels like there's way more time, and the scene just isn't as tight as it should be. It's the scumbag's fault that our boy Clubber is dead, and the dad, a changed man, now stares down at what he could have turned into, screaming why, and the raw emotions and compassion that are now visible in the dad's expression are emotions that are simply too far out of reach for this scumbag to understand. What he says next has a double meaning, saying, "You are infected." One, he's saying it to try to scare everyone and to get them thrown out of this cabin. And the second meaning, it's symbolic. He's infected with compassion. This moment highlights the change in the dad character. A mirror to the themes of compassion and selfishness, the sister just gives up. And holy hell, is it glorious. A whole lot of assholes are about to get eaten. Pun well intended. Even if it was a shitty one. Oh, they just keep coming. I gotta do it. They go into a tunnel and none of the zombies act blind how they did previously. It's inconsistent. I don't expect them all to do it, but it was shown previously to be pretty drastic. We slow down to revisit the recital from earlier. It wasn't because she forgot the words. She couldn't sing because she didn't see her daddy there, and she practiced the song for him. Ouch, that cuts deep. A wonderful scene that sadly goes one line too far. "Will you stay with me?" she asks. It's overkill for the foreshadowing, but he literally leaves in the very next scene. It comes off as silly. So he's in the bathroom and he gets a call from assistant Kim, and this is where it's revealed that they're to blame to some degree because they had this plan with the biotech plant and blah blah blah. Now this is unnecessary. It feels like something that should have been left out of the script during its final polish. For those who like this aspect, okay, I'll meet you halfway, giving credit to the symbolic washing of blood from one's hands after the reveal of the metaphorical blood on his hands. Running into a blocked track, this lifts the story out of the slow emotional beat, sending our survivors out to search for a new train and a clear track into Busan. The scumbag survives, and I am mad, but that's a good thing. He's supposed to make you hate him. And boy does he piss us off. A fiery runaway train slams into the other trains, giving us this awesome shot, as well as separating our characters and then putting the dad, daughter, wifey, and homeless man in a really cool, tense set piece to escape from. The scumbag strikes again, and since I love heartbreak, this was a great conclusion for these two. For me. If you like them, I'm sure you aren't celebrating it, but I don't want to hear it. I lost my boy, Clubber, and I still got more to lose. Holy shit, this guy's a piece of work, and I like how they try to keep the fact that he got bit subtle, so that way there's a chance a lot of people miss it the first time and then catch it the second time. They saved his life and he repays it. This actually goes back to back with the train conductor saving the wealthy scumbag's life, who turns around and just gives him up. He gave up a lot of people, got a lot of people killed, and this is the complete contrast to that. Wealth doesn't determine character. Man, that sucks, but this is an awesome kill, even if it's not a gory one. And the race is on. Zombies are hungry, and our heroes need to get to the other train, the new train. The green screen is a bit off here, but at least they got it picture perfect for the poster. No, not a fan of the pileup. What launches them? It always looks a little off, and I think that's because the physics are all wrong here. So this is a tough one to grade. They make it onto the new train, and the zombies grab on, and they hold on, and then they get dragged, while other zombies grab on until we see this ridiculousness. However, I'm a zombie fan, and hell, this is a guilty pleasure probably because it's something new, and I kinda dig it. Okay, that was cool. So knocking off a few zombies takes out all of them? I don't know about that. Oh great, the scumbag, soul-crushing character killer is here. Now it's hard to gauge how fast you turn after you get bit, and I'm cool with it being seconds to minutes, depending on the person, even where they get bit on their body, but it feels like they show way too many people that just turn instantly, so the longer ones feel a bit off. The scumbag, now a zombie, goes to claim another victim. First fighting with the dad, and then my wifey. The dad sacrifices himself, changed by the events, now in a battle against a man that represented what he would have become if this outbreak had not have happened. A cold, lonely, selfish piece of shit scumbag. And your stomach drops when the sad irony hits. Because he's bitten in this fight, the scumbag is still a representation of what he will become. Oh my god, it's fucking epic. However, the scumbag dies scared, unloved, miserable, and alone. But the dad will die happy, loved, and cherishing the greatest thing in his life, the time he had with his daughter, represented by the day she was born. Holy shit, this kid is effective. I'm rarely affected by movies, but this girl breaks my heart every time. I can't even do the commentary. Oh, she broke me, man. Alright, so they get to a tunnel and they gotta go on foot. Two soldiers are at the end of a tunnel and they get clearance to shoot them. Now this doesn't matter if it's on purpose or just coincidence, but this small setup is a big thing for zombie fans. See, in one of the classic zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead, one main character was gunned down being mistaken for a zombie. Just as the sniper aims to shoot, Sue-Ann is singing the song she learned for her father, calling back to him telling her, "I'm watching you even when you can't see me," saving their lives, protecting his daughter one last time. And that was Train to Busan. Is it perfection? No. But should it be on every single zombie fan's Blu-ray or DVD shelf in their movie collection, whether it's digital or physical? Abso-frickin-lutely. Train to Busan is simply one of the best zombie movies ever, hands down. That's not to say it's better than your favorite zombie movie. It just shares the crown with a handful of other greatest hits when it comes to the zombie genre. And it earned it. Not only do they maneuver around the restrictive filming location of a train, but they handle taking the characters off the train and then putting them back on the train seamlessly, and you don't even second guess it. Before you know it, they're juggling characters and locations, mainly keeping them on a train and rocking the shit out of that theme. And for a zombie movie, even though it's lacking over-the-top gore, which is fine, I'm a gore fan myself, but this has so much heart. I didn't even notice or miss the fact that it didn't have these outrageous kills with bodies being just mutilated. It's a heartbreaking story with characters you latch onto. It's oozing charisma, energy, and probably one of the greatest child performances I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not a wimp when it comes to movies, but truth be told, there's two movies that I can't watch the ending to. One is the ending of Blow. I always shut it off before the end. I refuse. I can't do it. And the next is Train to Busan. That kid just rips my heart out. And I know they're gonna remake this, likely remake it to death. No pun intended. But if you do fall in love with this movie, I highly recommend and strongly encourage you watch it in its native tongue with English subtitles. I refuse to watch it any other way. And before we get to the final grade, I just wanted to say I had some technical difficulties. I'm going to be working on it, but it's going to take a few months, so I didn't want to make this video wait that long, and the other movie flaws and ahs that are coming behind this. So until I get my microphone situation where I can utilize this backdrop, the plan is it'll bounce between images of me in front of this backdrop and then images from the movies we are discussing, and the stuff on the backdrop will start to include the movies we talk about. It starts empty, and then it has Train to Busan on it, and then other movies, either collectibles or the steelbook or the case. The idea is something from the movie will make it to the backdrop, and then that'll be another piece of the structure I'll have locked in place, and we'll worry about polishing some of the animations down the road. With that being said, if you're new here, the rules are simple. Anything that's okay or meh throughout the movie gets ignored. Anything that's bad or terrible gets a flaw. Anything that's good or great gets an aw. And then we subtract the F's from the A's and get our final grade for Train to Busan. Now this will start becoming more meaningful once we add additional movie flaws and ahs, and with the second one coming next week, I'll create a new end card tallying the movie flaws and ahs in its own list. Until then, thanks for watching, and please share and leave a like. Hell, you might as well leave a comment down below and tell me what movie you want to see next on the Flaws and Ahs series.